Me,
the better Marcos him. Me, the how many say, Yatimiama Bia, only some qualification.
Ashanti region. Oh, Wontumi. And then what do qualifications? Wontumi, you had a qualification.
Larry, I bet you
stay on track. Somebody stay on track.
Okay. Nana, enti what didn't come my way. Na ya Jackpano.
I don't know.
Oh, if you are jackpot, say Jackpana or the Rambo style or the Timmy, or the Time said the Timika said being jackpot. Not my Jackpano. At the ashet truck.
Oh, wasn't a trunk?
Oh, truck.
What kind of truck was that?
Pickup.
I thought it was a pickup.
That US, I'm for a pickup truck.
But when you mentioned truck, now,
but the moon champagne. Oh, that was a truck.
So, pickup truck.
What did you call baby of Bianim until Enra? Any year who say, oh, Yoko, because for the past days, not Obianim. They have me a sad Rambo style, Jumana.
Appear, the lawyer, his lawyer, Appear Kubi.
I can't say,
that he's there and
yes.
that he fell ill.
And no, they know we didn't call hospital. And the medical center, Corona, the call, Actually, now me no can say,
no be any. Larry, let him laugh.
Because no be any for the past 48 hours. No be any baby, I need to know. Ekwakusi ade ayeye no emfonyina ye twama wiase no airtime enka sempa mfa Ghana ho baby democracy akodu nana yaw me call US emrebi me call the mayor of Dallas eho menene wo mfonyini na se fom wi amejeje yenkomodie mu ni team no the thumbs up they gave Ghana we democracy no Mayor Johnson, Winyini. And ya Hong Kong, on see any Dortmund and so on. Me no more ye sister city relationship be. And see, woman, any dinkita hompa, woman bag Ghana, eba Kumasi, ye no more share dinkita one. Thumbs up to the Maye away democracy no. Winyini. Now so yati ha. And now my dream be a dash and sir, and it's a obi yan tree obi asunti. Ni go mining in a hufi without recourse to the laws. Yamra no a what Ghana Hanu say, which you bimpo, the what dear woo, the wire dayo, and mra no say, a same beer a what Ghana says, no a billable. I thought to be Nipper beer no while you bet you know. I said, what do you pay at Nicia over 48 hours? And the best, and he said, after that, before 48 hours, wouldn't it be called proper jurisdiction? The court. That's a court, bear reminding no. And that's a court, bear money bail or money bail. Now, the air power, seven ne. President Mahama, I swear for where you are more, including on Nuamu, their pension for being on social media with important and critical issues. And Deputy Attorney General, who in Facebook post be no obey. A can't topics no obey no. Say we investigating for fraud, for money laundering, for suspected criminal suspected criminal, international criminal dealings. We need evidence in Poe, Mr. Say. Nana, the Ben Yadi Mr. Say, I can't say more, we are say. Eddie Trio Biaso. Say, Mr. Say, when you make him plenty, no more boot to your coon. And then Mr. Say, make a petrol gumuno, Aquatrain, Aquaton, I'm a Ukada for. Mr. Say,
doctor.
Mr. Say, well, we cried the name Mr. Say, Mr. Say, we are doctor. Say now in your doctor. Now, what they and now, yan sir. Then they take to Facebook. A binna, Okujata Black Wire about embassy, no. no control and some way say when as Attorney General. But no wonder Ocean the boss. Say Dubai has somebody the boss or the press conference and a be addresses answer no. A good man who fee. What say mo the note say Nichika onya kwan kudie. Nana ya wonim say chama wontumi to ho no ya freezing access any bank accounts ina. Only access to any of them. Apart from the fear back on timu no. Nichika wo ba bia wo munim public no. Ya de ansa to so. We are we say ya chino ednashim say the onya kwan enkodi seska no. Na sika de ansa to so be dan kodi ska no. Enti enyo otanhunu ene se ma hyeda sa mu twe obi aso ha. Nana yaw. Ya chi cocaine several tons kilos. Ewo tema. Ya chi bi ewo Cape Coast Takra de kwan so. Enanu yera kotoka ya chi bi. Eni nansa aflawo ya chi bi. Yehunu de anitini ne kon akwa akosie. Yehunu yo. Enanu ya ka se aeroplane bi efi baby aba suspiciously se be fa hwan yo se be ye den yo emed. Yen ka ho asem ye gye akoto ho. Abebe ya osi oye doctor onye doctor eye an imposter. E senka bana ya chi no adenta kumi mo si wa publish ayi brofunom kan kra Laruna ye journalist mo kan say
misinformation. False publication.
False publication. Musibo de ne court. Na obia what oye imposter. Sasa mo nyina mo jaeka. Now the concentration is on Wontumi. Near the Biabetum, near the Biabetum, near the Biabetum. But mestre the lawyers, and then they should go to the Human Rights Court. And then Omonko Human Rights Court. Na yami dem to say, Honorable Afenyo Markin, any a membership in Parliament, and so Edo Amuhu Ajim. I also commend the leadership, national leadership of the party, General Secretary num, and woman and a be num, woman judge nemu, and this support emanu because we nana yaw say anumanu otutu obi funua enka say emmen wo papa baby ese nu no otutu funu ni wia wanya baby ankwa the next place will be wo papa de no into desecration of the deceased no or the back cover de no so into ye obi say no na obi kasa me de ye me de enam bibintra ye nyinara oman no ene ye hwe ema oman no abo obi say identity no boycott to parliament ha nana yaw we kai honorable keso ato forcing
ato ban forcing
ban forcing we kai no we kai Richard Japa ambulance sikatwitwiri die millions of dollars bi ho asem tem o do o court no wo kra de nyese ne ya nka se treat o a obi hu ba bi o wo wo de ye do o court eda bia na to forcing be court bia no na NDC MPs no led by Miami Nua Kopoku eni Kofi Amabo anom na o nyina free parliament na o court ho hwe asem no ansa na bia anyumre no nan wo ma back to parliament na obi enso party ni anya asem no ko support na obi to ho refer say wo mu ye concert na mo dia no na anya challenge chaplain num na mo ye na anya Jaguar Jokers some de musu samu amatu Jaguar Jokers ena mo ye nti no kra no ho a ni aka de akoso no enye one mama no bi mu kan sama kase krom ha bagalamse DMP pimpanifo ne president Kufuor no matam kan sam akasi bi asofo ebi ye muslimin panifo ebi ye opinion leaders enkanka wo mo academia na wo nyina kwaji post no enne de akosu obi aka na no atum na onim ndc ni bi kan p o manim wo radio so say senkame yadma kwayoku 25 times and yadme akoti BNI 30 times and I'm a report to CID and kamenya daji da betra radio ni TV so enya no abe cancer ma ohu nipa ne ya presidential staff o nti asema yabra president Mahama adwene ho no a president wo mo ka no eno na pie na no mo be ka no radio no so no me gidi say president onam okonto o they say okọ region hafo nebu no because nananom no be ya on kan kire o say obeda o mase no on kan kire say o supervise over enema e koso say or supervise over termination, wrongful termination revocations on kan nyina kire wo mo no who say and e koso but mo play the white clock say me declare ka fita bo me minim na me yes of papa huna o shata rutuntum ase emwa obia ebye ba ku mienu miensa ya broso ye won crofo ma call the quieter obia kranti o enya wuntumi kwa na ne dia ba o enya denta kumi kwa na ne dia ba o enya wadanfo akwatieti wono so me ohun num nyina mu da the same soup same diabolic people enti munnim mo ho se man kan sem na nwi wabondi ya fa godin ekoye wenum nyina yakeka ayeni sei nunrai nana yawo
but adena everyone so say a free that ben Wednesday every Wednesday na mete say yaman bail I say omiti conditions not the coffee adena mon call human rights event saying court
no makane ha say media me ka kire na lawyer for say ene wo mon call minim conditions na attached to the bill no nana ya mamfa me nya me ho nya example wo mo ba chi me papa ene ne ma ana me part na kunta no ma ba ho kwasiada that time me papa du kwasiada no mo ye nuane na tine nyina e be hia didi wo mo chi obia ye de gu cells at the sub prison for 6 months. Eventually no wam the eco tribunal
one
when PNDC time one more case one more bill no unim conditions no mo dey attach here no with sureties no me wo fanom edin krata ne dan property fee kwase buyer court ne catch am say one more pay surety a war the jurisdiction of the court into secondary anatakrade when they know say me near busua bia na ye near busua bia e was secondary takrade
oh yeah then
womo edi womo say me that time no womo say makobu border guards akọ me that time na me akora o border guards ekutatuo ene sankrofo ya womo buy womo ti womo volunteer militia for makwa bu womo a release smugglers na me papa ti fie wontumi fo me nuanum panufo na wo ho no enkasa nkere me and that was the basis 6 months eventually no munko womu ade conditions ne to ho say it made it practically impossible to get bail intiminim de omode chairman Wontumi minim strengths are attached to the bail conditions. But please, and this phobia, any microphobia on church or Facebook, no, if they need to get education. Bail, a hunter USA, your Timmy post to bail, say $10,000, with me quote you cano, a deep bail in the panonoko. A surety, and to beer with Japadia, wɔn hwɛ a ɛyɛ worth saa amount no ne amount ɛde akɔsi hɔ na de si awowa na de akɔ beli nipa no nso obi ka sɛ na anu ya na mu fi aban mu muntumi raise 54 million enkonko yi no a yɛn kasa yɛ agi sika ɛna ka sika na agya nka nyina nka di ntobɔ de akɔ yi no into wɔn nya education on that but deɛ kɔ so no airtime ɛnyɛ ne kwan so no me say meka ye pa ye ne ye wie program match me so nkotum de ekɔ so Ghana no enye mpanufo nananom nanom hu se bibinya mo kae asofo amhu se bibinya mo kae muslimi mpanufo amhu se bibinya mo kae akrachefo anyansamfo amugu ye universities na ye hu bibia nye si ayi za ayi think tanks no me chairman down for Franklin Kujo.
When they were talking, you guys were not listening to them.
Oh, so why wouldn't they talk for you to listen?
You were not listening to them.
So why wouldn't they talk for you to listen? If we were not listening, okay, and I believe someone they mubeti, so they should talk. If the Larry hold and fan for her, a word through papa. I say fitrini akple true and fan for her. Kra se na ye ntia me giri se mu de mu betie de me kan se wo mo nkasa wo mo ma wiati hunu
ade kasa e force
a trade the hypocrisy of people, a trade the unprincipledness of people,
na se me na me de me
a trade the double standards of people.
Me na me de me time me pena me kasa
time me pena beka remember the who say ade we nye nti meka enne senya ana ohun say ye so mu say ye o meka nche say ehun say ye ba enya so dia wo meka sa na o man no tama no amoka no o so mo boa me achichiro man no ti se mo boa me achichiro man no a enne de ekoso no so no ese mo boa me achichiro man.
Larry, let him land.
No, I just wanted to chip in this. When they asked for the sacking of Kenoforiata, I mean, the president didn't listen.
Oh, never when you can't watch them.
And no, they can't watch them. People were talking.
They said so because
Prof, people were talking.
So because the president
and you refused to listen.
No, Larry, this logic. The same people were talking, assuming we refuse to listen. So when it's bad, because you said in the past and nobody listened, you won't talk about it again. So you are telling me, say, my no, and your words and the never went to you know. Because when yantieno and yanka, which means say presupposing say when you can ontie asma and can be a BBMO and what can some women see what and what can be a scheme.
Oh no,
because no, what can say what them say? What's it enra? Yes, you can see men say could be a giant. You can't ni papa num and cash and ne. Yamanu attitude being toast.
Kwabena sechi.
Yamanu attitude being toast.
Kwabena sechi tu being toast. Kwabena sechi also.
Kwabena sechi teacher being toast. Enam say enra obiko bia ponchia ukaya ni papa ntie no. Enti enamenka if you say kwabena sechi papa ntie. Na je say kwabena sechi papa ene yamanu papa wo mu ya dekro. Sunsuye bia nim enu am say Larry enko kasa asem we ba bia mensi wo ene show we say so ene 30th May 2025 of studio
I'm not sure you're following me.
Yeah, enko kan ba bia biem.
No, I'm not sure he's following what.
Entina me se mani nwie na ka odi e.
We are no aka de.
Entima me ntie onuan ma aka no so e wo untumi de ho na fe emra.
Entima stre. But I'll tell them yeah lawyers I believe say bia say so am kwan so eko human rights court because emrano echre pefe na minim tumia sa investigative agencies no ewa wo mutimi de wo mo pe e de local obi unless maybe the person is a danger to society. Ebia nipa no wugya no onu akwasa ne nkwa kra no at risk. In all of this, and you na do pay. You seek the consent of the court. Na court ama wo yoko. And now office of the special prosecutor, and now NIB, and now Ghana Police Service. Who's the president for? Wamu Chiam Robert Scribe, one moment who's a mujina, one two, pay, and no more two, no more chu crana, one dom call, one cells are no marco court, no marco to me. Na court na kasebia, mo remind me police custody, and now prison custody, and now baby I'm from Kusabia now what you mean. Say, Omunga dom evidence we are no must I repeat remand no, and send the bill apply for bail. Court now share no who say bail no more apply for no. Yes, substance will more just be a money bill and I say Munsan call them. But one more ankasa penal, won't mean fast and yes, I am. Wait, and you say Nipa be sorry, now okay, and no, now could be say your offices no, Yama traffic about the anti-buff, and I'm because you were silent. Because the question then was one cano and no and who consequence no because I did be action be bohano so I catch a me and family one a beer yamechu near mechu of a papa uba bimco but a home consequential effect no a beautiful country one my mum I said woman near phrases no one man assume empty or money so empty no mummy or man can be
but me da say sampai Harry Harry Larry
yeah me da say no, I think Wontumi brought a lot of these things onto himself. What do you mean?
Sure, my honest
yeah, I think Wontumi brought a lot of this thing onto himself. Now, from I think
a lot of
whatever is happening now, onto himself. Sure, in the last 8 years or more, Wontumi has been all over the place. There are videos of him with TV stations, radio stations, no kikanyoma. Ebi o house yo say president be eba Ashanti regional national security eba ne ho ebe bisa permission from you. That is a show of power. Okaya, I think he even took on Kofi Boachi and said, Ochira Kofi Boachi bibi kakra. He goes on TV to talk about how rich he is and that how he can look after even the whole of Kumasi. Or the gold bus at the Kotinawe TV station. Eke kan sem nienim ninyo hu ye okikan ninina. Now, after all that talk, you were collecting with government contracts as far as Cocoa Board is concerned. I wrote some of those stories when the report came out. As I think I had a document that he had been given a Cocoa Road project and that at the time he had failed to even execute it. And there was also another report about he collecting Exim Bank facility to go into farming. I mean, a bit digression. You say Exim Bank, Ukohwa, Omuamua could jisike free hono. The rot there is massive as far as Exim Bank is concerned. Now, in the case of Iyoko, I'm told it is because of the Exim Bank issue, no, was the reason for the arrest by Iyoko, because they were looking for him over something and they couldn't find him or he was not making himself available. Now, beyond that, then he was also involved in mining. And he had, and again, some of those videos where he says, listen, he is into mining, and out of mining, or the gold, TV stations, radio stations, displaying it for everybody to see how rich he is. And he says he's a miner. He owns a mining company, Akonta Mining. It was under President Akufo-Addo. When reports came there, he had depleted. He was in a certain forest, and a place that he's not supposed to be. He had gone there. Now, and the president then came out to say, oh, I mean, to clear Akonta mining. Still, we are dealing with Akonta mining issues today. They are still in the forest as we speak. Because another government has also come out to say, listen, Akonta mining is actually in a particular forest somewhere in the western region. And the issues, I mean, and so any. Okay? So that is there. I think even in the Ashanti region where Sampine was the mayor, the party, as in the MPP party, was split into two, with him leading the faction and another group friends against him. Okay, I think.
But Larry, my miss our question.
Okay.
Obi Oye regional chairman.
Yeah.
Na yemfa say in the leadership when me an kan fie na amom.
Yeah.
Na mu split here.
Yeah.
And until you no go see you 3 days, 4 days, 5 days.
No, I'm building a point.
No. I'm struggling. You see, I'm struggling to see where
No, you see it. You see it soon. Okay. If you could just relax.
All right. Okay.
In the case of Nepatino, a group held a press conference and mentioned road contracts that Wontumi had been given, state contracts that he hadn't executed. Road contracts that he had not executed. And so I said, had you executed those contracts, we wouldn't have lost an election. And I said, we wouldn't have lost the kind of numbers we have lost. You get it? And Wontumi, the character, the attitude, the way he had carried himself, is what has brought all this upon him. And where there's a split, there's a division now. A lot of people are saying, listen, let him face the law. And now why is the MPP complaining about his arrest? And that if you have issues, a bill has been, let's say a bill has been floated. If you have issues, go to the court. And then go and fight it in court. And not massing up at Yoko, a lawful body that, when you were in office, I mean, you supported. You gave everything to, including wasted statutory funds, to operate. So suddenly that institution has become evil. That when an individual has been invited or even arrested to assist in investigation, Parliament, half of Parliament says, listen, no, we have to march to that institution to go and demonstrate, to go and protest for Wontumi to be released. Now,
Sorry.
No, we can't govern a country like that. Where yesterday you use that same institution, you believe in the laws, you believe in its operations, but suddenly, because you are in opposition, you don't want any other person to use that same institution to get to the bottom of anything.
Okay.
If you have issues.
So the enemy bisa when I was saying to me bo anka meti ase.
Yeah.
Na me pesa we establish me who the link between Yoko Chaya Chobi and the party I went to Yama Emu Echi and the fact that
I mentioned the point, sir. Listen, even with
you mentioned the point, but I said
even in his own party there are divisions about the fact
that there are divisions in his party. The fact that there are divisions in his party and say as I said Nipano, actually and found this. That's what I'm trying to say.
No. Obviously, I mean, one in front so that a bill you've been arrested to assist in investigation. Okay, you've been granted bail, and you couldn't raise the surety.
Okay,
but with the party baits now, but his own party people organized press conferences and mentioned state contracts that had been given him.
And they said that you can keep on for this.
No, I'm not. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not sure you are following me.
Oh, how will you say that? Maybe some question will say you are not sure I'm following. Maybe some
in their case,
because you see, as some I can,
yeah,
just in some side Babacana or say, or might you want to me because of fraud be and Skasemi Huasem and only in some orca.
Or say they are investigating him for fraud. Okay.
And other things about
the fraud. I'm suspecting fraud. You know that you collected money and then you haven't executed the job.
Let the courts prove that. And say also or suspecting say or you say.
One are suspecting. No.
A friend is saying you.
No, he couldn't
that is
say.
What
No, he couldn't
say.
No, he couldn't have said it's or no suspecting. No, he is just giving us an information. Say, listen, he is being investigated for so and so. At least that is what his post said.
Okay.
Son and the post that right. He's being investigated for fraud.
Okay.
Okay. And then he's being investigated for money laundering. Mm-hmm. And then he's being investigated for international organized crime. For me, that is a bit vague, really. But the point is, I mean, justice came out to mention that the man has been arrested for so and so. Now we all know, a bail. He's been granted bail, but he is not able to raise the surety for him to get out. And like Sam said, I mean, if there are issues, if they can't do that, they should go to the Human Rights Court or wherever they could go to and have the bill varied, and everybody will be at peace. But marching onto a state institution like Yoko, okay, the list of things, people are on phone, people are on social media calling, let's mass up, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, you can't be apostles of democracy, believers of rule of law. Okay,
not more than 6 months ago, you marched to Jubilee House.
Oh, we
Jubilee House, the seat of the president.
We who?
And that moment is for you march there. When a friend say.
But when you call yourself a believer of something, okay, on my yena yejisi ho. Yeah, you know, nana no more moji chronosi ho no omo ye akukudro for and so on. Listen, democracy is expensive. Subject yourself to it. The defeat of MPP, I mean, had a lot of, factors. Corruption was one critical part of it. Now, if Wontumi is being accused of some of these things, what any serious party would want to do is to say, listen, guys, let him go through the process. And that we are going to monitor it and ensure that he is gone through a process that, it's for to be anyone. Then we are getting somewhere. We can't build democracy as and when it suits us. Today, whatever is happening is bad. But when it happened, some few days ago, it was okay. We can't govern a country like that. Yet even if the person is invited, party for more, come here. Or I mean, there's a friend said, free so and so, do this and that. I mean, and people, guys, we can't build a country like this.
All right, let me tell Professor Smasapo so Prof.
Yes. The Cardinal me da wasibio Simon Wache na yete fonya na me mpanimfo bi no a ewa ne di kan chama Wontumi enya invitation to CID eno no akoba ye no say media madaroma mo ye interviews ne on microphone no ko ni bi no interviews o ka say omuni no ekon very professional omu bisa issues bi ne manema mo no so initial answers or what the mom no their mom enti no ono kra bo police for nabaso ni mpani for nabaso ni ade enti na me feel say sa ka bi ma me nka bi ni rule of law no sa na afia say for me it was a better option than answer na sa CID invitation ba na nia na yetete no reference Adenta Kumi Governor Addison sa na jote hwa na mema di ntu abesi uso sa ye no no na enye papa me nyina ye kan ye wa fidi Yesu kra ye kan ti me CID for me I felt so this is a better option because na oye den ya o perfectu ko nipa no 2 a.m. you still don't have the prosecutorial power why did you ko ye whatever you do you back on your court na to no so me sure say anybody would want to try that here in Ghana. Say Sebe, yes, be a governor this and now wenti, and I don't know call ya that thing. I mean, yes, sure, say this is we have come very far. If I'd never be say see pain in our history. Opani bi wo menka busuafo ya o. Obi wo opani bi danso man ho baby na how he got affected mentally. Omu wo fia no pa eno so sa friends and brain so military ayinimu a say akra ne papa na tifie soja for ni bo wura ho no mu a who is this person o ka say you no na ten akra no ten na ya bon papa to na fa ni team o de anyini besine ma wanye ayibiu. Those days are past. Obi some penny for to omo a me ma me na de we have experience in the past, but I'm not sure said this time round obi be kwa kobo bi tu na yes say wo ko hoden for how measure strength na wo de ahoden be overpower na akọ me nyesho say governor this in fie na etu ahia na egu ho ho ye barracks ana denta kumi fenti that time they made na mempe because we dey kwachene bra we ye den be come ranim. This one for Wontumi was okay for me. CID invitation or koye ni lawyers ni ade on one and to say professional. The second one na yoko for ne picking and so no. For me the picking and they say na onya we say be picking, for me that also doesn't alter the situation much because there those people do not have prosecutorial powers here. Frel abe substantiate some claims be and allegations and investigations be omaye, and that it will eventually go to court. As someone call Yoko Menko we or Yoko Hoda, so Yoko wants to pursue it. Yoko can pursue it only in court. Yeah, mama man yes a for me I think say it's part of their operation. And maybe I can grant that one too. Now the issue gets to Yoko. Yes, say nipa netna hono from time we chilling I'm say for almost 8 hours now no bi answer dan kan arrange na days e hona tactics ne mafia ne start say ebem no because yes whoever sent for him to be picked should have been there to receive him and ask him those questions necessary and then allow him to go e hona em say na mafia no e be started no. Then at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when you are giving bail, as how you can't even do it. I didn't pass it. But I'm so better. I quite also Omafia be now the weekend. We are there over democracy Monday before the other people. And sometimes if you to be yes to mafia you and now be bisa.
On Friday.
Also that chini on Friday. Na I no host yesterday na enter weekend. Then no ya dem be try weekend no. E ho no. Nti mafia kakra e wo ho. And let us not pretend. Make the mafia no near no politics Africa has a DM sometimes even within their level they do that. Now for then okay fine. You say within 48 hours. I said do come renew. See into come renew the grant to be whilst we are doing our investigation. We are there. Continue say 48 hour you know Wontumi keep you know. Yoko carefully have swerved that because they have released you. And then they will release you with I got a coffee cause no jam be. You will release you with a year. Trisu adia sabi unyam farmer. In fact, menyesho say Yoko na Yoko adwene say Wontumi nyam farmer but onya na nimanimu na. Nti no so kra betimi amwa trembe 2 days be 3 days be. Enefie se besi no so nyama na say ha weekend no so aba beka ho anesa. Em say eye mafia bit no and ebema politicians abem and I said ye hu abem. First day CID invite here ye nyina be boy ensem kan say oh enei sa tete niema na free den their campaign den kan why me ye nyina be hu say hono nipa anhye da anko ho bebre was ono ne lawyers and I think regional
but prof come to think of it CID ni full meaning here
Criminal Investigation Department.
Criminal Investigation Department. CID.
Yes. Omu investigate acts that are suspected to be criminal.
And Yoko no say economic and organized crime.
Crime that involves commercial value. Issues say what commercial value. Unse CID crime no ye crime, it can be anything that any commercial value. Okay. But Yoko the end their mandate actually revolves around criminal acts and as acts are
organized crimes.
Crimes are what commercial value. And you know, I think that the constitution is clear on that, and we can grant them. But senka a court send a CID for the call yenwa. Menya sure senka nenka and Crofoma Siapo Yoku. Made the mestre Yoku on this matter. I think the power rests with them. Say no mufo say Wontumi is so capable of paying 50 million. Until now a bill no omuye 50 million, because they should admit say 50 million so. In fact, my fear say in our history, in the existence of Yoku, have they ever granted such a bill to anybody before? 50 million adi bisa before ana
500 billion OCD.
500 billion
a trillion.
Oh, enti ye nyina ye nyentum say
1 trillion half.
Nana ya ye nyina ye nyentum say sika ne de adaroma sika ndem say so. Sika ndem say so.
50 million.
Oh, seriously, and the eso. And sebe se oka se o de toto allegations ne ho. Ye se be say million, be say million allegations na nka se mudro no, ni commercial value no eso. Na se no nti wo hwe so ka se wo je 50 million na. So na say you are avoiding trial. Oh, jisika no. You are accusing the person and giving the person a ransomware. Oh, money bail a revolver around a kana or de no. So without the courts, you are trying to retrieve what is alleged to have been intimidate. I mean, my position on that part, you know, an appeal. I'm say 50 million pound in an ayao. Eso. Ain't you know, say we bet me your baby are fine. Say woman to me your baby nanyans and a homo next time. Even if person will play mafia, I don't think it should go that much. Unim, the essence of bail is to make sure say ye secure the person to avail himself for trial. Ye we are a be mass of person jana kra untimi nwane obe availing him for trial. Nti availing yourself for trial na ye key for bail. Nti do baby kra bail is free when there are enough grounds to substantiate say we obe available for trial kra bail kra ye nyisika.
Sampai say Wontumi nwane.
Sampai onko baby
na demanya du kra me dwane akwa ado na me kwa kwotuna obi krom asisa my identity na me war crime criminal.
Oh, enti sincerely
de aba ya nya bia de agukonkum aba ya
what's on your own
aba wadro manya nwa papa bi fi hafo nso tutu yi na mo yi pie na
me ha me nwa
me dwane Abraham the prison hakura me yire betimi anu bia
Abraham enti yes just ade nso say bill no wa wutie bill nya bibia bill nya trisu ade yen kidnap on yes feska we bra na release. I'm not sure we are trying to redefine the concept of bill. Bill simply means yen nya bibia ebema nipa no on pese obe avoid trial and now obe dwane and now obe bibi. Enti osha practice kwa anka the best assurance of the person's availability for trial ebia ono ni status in society. Baby Kofi Kinata na kan asem oso oko che baby abroche baby afo se ho de Asia se henfa obi akra nim no ko UK de no se ko pie yanko bi abehu no e ko US no ne ade bo se baby okọ share no e no da kru bi oso ne ewie poi ma me nko beach na no na me nko oso do no first person hey Kofi I say a household. Oh, and you know, people like that, I'm not sure say a man here din to. The interest is, will the person be available for trial? And I think an answer in the case of Wontumi will always be yes.
Isn't it that the personality of Wontumi, where you are invited and he's putting up an attitude? Isn't that the issue?
Where? Was he invited?
No, I mean, in the first instance, I think the one day the people went to his house.
The first instance was that Omu Kodifi.
Yes.
And if I'm saying
National Security Force.
National Security Force.
National Security Force. Omu di Mrantie. Omu Kodifi.
Yes.
Kodifi. And Larry, me no meaning yet. I'm saying yes, I need free.
It's the first proper invitation.
The Sassman Larry Cano. Na CID furniture no. Na ono so atro omo formally.
Oh, okay.
Estate say me home fa me.
Into remember this date.
Me ba Joada no. That was he was supposed to report on Wednesday. It was in a letter, no, I think 19. And no, respond more by 20. It's the 21st, and I saw more bano. And no, castle Obeba Monday, which was 23rd, I think 24th.
Yeah.
Friday, no, Anopa.
And now
local boys, you name almost all of them.
Oh, in Kumasi.
Yes.
Under whose instruction?
Under the Bamsi regional security coordinator. And in the videos, my own friend Tapsoba, or your regional security coordinator.
Hey, Tapsoba!
On a regional security coordinator.
Tapsoba that? Oh!
Hey, it's a deputy. Oh, woman said Arabia and a national security insignia, Guachra, or Gina video no more. I want my boy back on Sadat or Mujiano.
Yeah, obi ana betimi aye nti ye hwe ne saa ye be ye fed. Yeah, obi ana betimi aye nti ye hwe ne saa ye be ye fed. The process would not be ebia mafia ketu bi nkosom ni ade.
I said the Larry kind of mafia.
Be ketu bi. Na onim.
Someone can bu and wo koye kwan bi na say kwata sa so kwan ma manwie krom ha. Nana
unim me dema no si no the bit na akoye political na akoye mienu ebinom NDC for side no you would hear them talk about na so wiska and 50 million per you have heard that na obi also
if you crack and say woyome omo man we 54 million Ghana cedi bill.
Oh, okay.
I think there was an issue like that where he
also couldn't and a court no.
Yeah. No, not Yoko. Was it Yoko?
I think court.
Was it? It was a court.
So that is what we have to find out. That's the difference we must look for. May say, Yoko the man sabe.
No, I think it's a court.
That's what we want to establish.
And it was varied. Later, as a human rights court, no varied.
Yeah. So what you said, we've been here before.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But the courts, not the Yoko. Yeah. But Nana American they say politics for now bemuno. In fact, Mamen can say, oh, we for answer. Ye pese ye free sa arena we mu. Menya sure say ye pese ye wom. And those who are saying so, but in the past, more the same thing valid. Present, you are doing the same. Yes, I question the person. You are admitting, say, we ye, odi equalize, odi ye pay back. And to mess one more driving home that thing on social media. Then when you're very careful, let every case be in its unique form. They are found to say not didn't in the year, but I pet. Let's have ye be equal to for China.
All right, Prof.
Okay, sure.
Few text messages here now. You wrap up and pay. Nana Okese, ask Larry, what has Yoku got to do with an organization and an individual who has allegedly failed to execute a road contract, and or an individual who has gone to a bank to borrow money and has not paid? Is that a justification? Eddie, another way, if Nima, Eddie, Ebaye. Now, Professor Kingsley Nyako says, Cardinal, good morning. What is Larry talking about? You are asked to explain the needless and unwarranted custody of Wontumi, and your response is that he displays gold bars on TV. What? What justification and logic is this, Larry? The majoritarian tyranny of President Mahama must halt. This is bad for our democracy. Professor Kingsley Nyako, Larry Bay, you are not paying. I'm sorry. Oh dear. Cardinal, seriously, I think Larry Dogby, his long meandering linkage to Wontumi's issue is completely off. If he doesn't see anything wrong with how inhumane Wontumi has been handled by Iyoko, then we leave that to his conscience. He spoke as if he has a personal problem with Wontumi. Abeku of Danso Man. Onore de kwesi ben dweso besianse kwesi ben makacho say multiple messages aye jai kwesi enenya last one pa chow. Me nya medin pa chow. Why? Me srew pa we need him. Why? We ni titia ba ko pe obia de ne akan nkakra sa. Why? Me srew. So Larry, let me put it this way. Some people went or some people went wrong under President Akufo-Addo. So President Mahama must repeat it. When others took double salary, President Akufo-Addo asked them to be pardoned. And you think this is the right thing President Mahama should do? Mame Adwa mentioned that until we in papa but yebe anything. Donko Fuseni says, tell Sampai, I know it is not only the Abenkwine and the Nwa that is keeping him. We now have some of his favorite pork show at National Service Authority as well. He is free to pass by. Donko Fuseni, Deputy Director General Operations, National Service Authority. Hey.
Oh no.
Okay. Tell Sampai. Okay, it's the same. Donko Fuseni, and what do we say? I thought the reset will change all this archaic behavior, but I can see it will never stop. Some of the justification is just mind-boggling. Mame Abba downfall. Mame Kaibem Yunubi Sosunamenko. Issa Fuseni Fiekuma or say Cardinal. I am extremely scandalized by Larry's submission. How can a contractor who was awarded a contract be answerable for the financial loss to the state? Who certified the job and subsequently paid the contractor? Hey, Larry Penny, Pacho, Larry Dogbe, Larry Dogbe, and I'm no aiding como, and I no pay. Why? Kabemi Nubiwaha. Okay. Ruling party NDC should ensure that all these invites, arrests, and incessant raids yield something fruitful, which will be of immense contribution to the national growth. They should prove beyond reasonable doubt that these actions are tailored to probity and accountability and nothing else. I'm saying this because if this cacophony ends up being the usual politics of antics and theatrics, then they should be ready to face the wrath of the voters come 2028. Jomo Pokwase Festus, who is now the spokesperson for electorate in Ghana. Jomo. Okay. Nana Alkesi, all right. This thing you have sent is too long. Too long. Abofo, too long. Pacho. Why? Me that's it. Amai.
Nana.
Yeah.
Because Ube allow me to respond to one of the text messages.
In fact, yeah, responding to text messages, you know. I almost respond to your comment. And to me, my time, that's all.
Too unfair.
Anyway,
that's okay, I understand.
All right, okay. Because the person was starting to say, I give you 5 minutes.
Oh no, give it to some. Go ahead.
Okay, right.
Okay, Nana.
Pajawo, 5 minutes.
Mate, no 5 minutes. But will be and some man can be brain. One text in Aka. So be called Exim Bank, Equa Jibusia. I said, my call me bank. Me name some more new hanka met me a bodino. No makwa Jibusia. Na minti and the intended purpose is man put in the two no. A bank na said this will be recovered in Tikano. A free me home. Unless maybe a Nura, if it's 7 January 2025, the assistant banking arrangement in a Minyawe.
But the thing is still under investigation, Sam.
Now, say nothing I'm justify see financial if it's under investigation. Ebio, most see a man who crying 1 year. Nana, see a cat.
But 5 minutes, the money you banter as well.
Me or no or the yammy may know. That's your being quiet when you say no crampa. Why and then I said, why now award do contract, you know? Or no actual certificates been no raise na nipa no mo tua sen na amano na adwuma no ba bi sen na chen kokoko ye hwe se ba bi o mo bubo edin e yam papa me man fast stretch ne da equipment a egu honom no so mo ka so be sizi equipment na betimi atua sa aka ni nyina abroso the portion I've used that there so eko akando constituency hono ma sa asawin so kwa no but you see that stretch no adwuma no omye no the equipment egu ho earth movers
that's go
yeah earth movers, trucks, and everything. A good honum no. So we see when you sell them offer, will be on more than $100 million. Pardon me. No, they were working on the road. The time I made me fast, no, they were. Oh, just before the election. Just before the election. You call a Fifi. Matakwa ye papa ye. Fifi mama there. Ewo Asenkrega. Enti na come out and so there the same day. Enti me fi Asenkrega na me fa enchi da there so na me pie hono. So I use that portion of the road. Enti Larry Mesro one akofa ba na nkrofo dem want you there. Adwuma na wo ya na ho yini bi no. Nana,
I don't see like that at all.
Washington Embassy. Na oni embassy no eye adwuma.
I'm Fred Kwatin no.
Na oni embassy no eye adwuma.
I'm Fred Kwatin no.
Yeah, Fred Kwatin no. And you can get the thing from YouTube. Say oni omo eye adwuma. Or see, we mo formalize no, but even though no formalization no a contract worker a renewable every year. Or see we mo formalize 16 December 2016. Say oboa mesomeboa. And this is what he said there. But minister no post, minister no sought to suggest say nipa no MPP time and obenya into a MPP ni. It's because of that ye new obiadi. And no anamu ye program na metie obi bo Odi nipa is it Miami MP meboa Collins. Say na Collins wa. Obo odi nipa ba kon fi ni post aba e kai bebo wo ho. Na de eye me nwanwa eye replacement no. It tells you say no ma planning asem na to ho. Nana yaw you can't simply tell me say Farah Dixon esu wa yi wo ne ba fo nom ne Pretty Joyce no na branch o twa yi wa yi mu nyina firi ha Peter Square no obia na ade achi ya ne was set of people na wo mo effective, they are conversant with the consoles, everything like you are doing. I mean me ntiase that's just one much share out to her just simply finding means to create jobs for the boys because se nipa bi according to a friend in Lankasa, no, or no crown on the contract, outside embassy, no. I do, yes, I'm not into the merit of what he did or did not do. I'm talking about statement, or the buyer, no. Say, the pan were deep on it, which you know, no, yeah, near my see or the Bebuama embassy, no. And I will call James and nobody didn't come out. It was an issue for them. Pass one passport, you could be 6 months, a bit 1 night, you ran a copy be fee and all that. That system was to bring some sanity.
The system that he created.
But the embassy money created, but the mailing of it, and no in the private. Then no, and whom some can be or no, we bet me a car. And we are different, but stating the facts near didn't trouble baby shame near the Facebook near ya PR as Chankrata say woman could take office. Nana
5 minutes na so.
Would the diplomatic passport cry kwakwe juma eko di visa. The minimum of about 3 days so. Until you then you close to at number 26. Near 29 year na your team crofo echo no am visitors no way one man na prepare position be no mo kwa kofa and then me di wie me am office John Jinapo ne containers e da bi e kan ha wo kasa asem ni pie ye me no ne Dr. Ochre Ankra ye first people discuss ye then no asem ni see ye na next day we at the studios here em kram bi say na containers no you born race in the DSC akura ho akwa na bontin na eventually no aba abontin say entisa I believe say some apologies should come because with him yema wa dan for the big nom bo na ponum din ebo krapanom edin ma e but thankful bi ho e man luku said that bromo ya kromfo ana wo mun nkrofo na konaivu ama niema no ajira a chopper emrem na munim the ya wo ha ne say Larry de wonim onu say ni krata no herald the churo wasem ma ba bia asem ne be kwa koduru no so o maw Roberta Lana rejoin that to krobi odi be kwa koshimu no anhwa nipa kura enhu ene wo mo atie ye ya de bia yenyi propaganda enfrim ya the propaganda ye bibia emwaye enko menko boy ntina na mama no si ha na me ko
yes Larry, my point on way Wontumi was simply this: let a group of people not portray themselves as above the law. Okay, if you've been given state resources to do something and you fail to do it, okay, account for, just explain yourself. It is through the investigation. And I no
but
you just mentioned say you just mentioned say that road do not you saw some of the equipment on that road. I ask you whether or not the road had been repaired. You said say as at the time of last elections, nothing, a lot of things that didn't happen on that road. No more, yeah. But you can't say.
I can't say because
that's fine. So listen, I mean this thing where the list of things people,
and I also premise it based on say stretch no dia.
This thing where people are quickly, organized and as a mobilized to attack state institutions. I mean, they had been given responsibilities. They were given resources to manage. If they had failed to manage it, I mean, if they didn't manage it properly or they managed it properly, it is through the investigation we'll really get to the bottom of it. And we should stop, demonizing state institutions. Okay? Let's allow them to do their work. Others had appeared before these same bodies, and then nobody heard about it. They went there with their lawyers quietly and then went through whatever process there is. They were billed. They went home. And then, assisting this same institution to get to the bottom. But then, Obi Ohondia, Ofrena, Ose Nipan bro, mu MPP Fontina Misa. Okay, and as Sanya Econodia, we cool be to me. I mean, you don't talk like that. You don't talk like that.
Okay.
Larry, drive your point home. Okay. Sometimes they didn't jump can hear.
Kofi, this embassy matter. Utie Kofi Tonto, who used to be the information director of the same embassy. He was on Way Obi's show and talked about he having investigated this same Fred Kwarteng. He talked about how Fred Kwarteng said he was ready to be giving him $10,000 every month by way of bribery, and told him, said, listen, he Fred Kwarteng was not the only one doing it, and that even the people there are others in the embassy who were deeply involved in this. Kofi Tonto talked about how Waye report, and that the report was sent to the ambassador, and then to the foreign minister also. So it is not just Okujeto who is saying this. But even Kofi Tonto, who is an aide to Vice President Bawumia.
Larry, let me come in here again. Granted, the Kofi Tonto aka ni na no kre sanete. Enunti esese ye to embassy. Na ye ka say jumaini bi oho bia enkofie.
I haven't come to.
No, I'm asking you a question because if you are saying that the Kofi Tonto can no kre nyo no nko okujeto nko na investor branch here, then the other stretch of it
you could have issues with the events and that I mean the closure. I mean, that is a different matter altogether.
But that's what I'm asking you.
Yes, I'm saying that you could have an issue with that particular way arrangement. But then, if I took note of what he wrote, or it's just for some few days, and that they needed to understand a lot of things before reopening it. And then after the pressure,
to withdraw all staff.
Is that
withdraw local staff?
I think because it says that this Fred Kwarteng wasn't the only one.
No, if what do they do, I'll be able to identify Fred Kwarteng. Why can't you identify the rest of those who were?
I don't know. See, I mean, we let's call for a copy of the audit report, and then assess it. OTS here. Then maybe we will be better placed to appreciate whatever decision went into this. But after the pressure, the embassy has been open. At least he told us that they are opening it for today.
It's an embarrassment.
Oh yeah, it's
especially when he discussed with the president.
But when Kofi Tonto also mentioned, said, listen, he, as at 5 years ago, this thing came before him and he investigated. Notice that this guy had commercialized certain services and he was collecting unapproved fees. I mean, what did the government then do about it? Sampine. What did the Akufo-Addo government do about it? What did the ambassador do about it?
I don't know.
What did the minister of
the
foreign
ambassador
affairs
and the minister, they are all alive. You can ask them.
No, but you are condemning somebody else.
I'm not condemned. I'm condemned for his action. We are not talking. We are not saying.
Somebody told me.
Prof,
listen, the money is involved.
Larry,
yes.
I am not saying said the Fred Kwati yes why no eyadipa. I'm not saying so. Me say the almost so my no and then as for no. But near woman no, they should look at it from that point. But the action say nipa ba kwaya there and now see nipa mienu mi say be kan hunti no a whole embassy a Ghana America. I will be an investors create baha a be businesses and the rest yeah be visa yen tum na will be am refie na ade achi 2 days time ye di nipa foforo ko and na me bisa question say nipa foforo na ye ko no ne a prepare wo mo saying that ben no mo gi wo mo visa small wo mo e ka ben na wo ho. That's the action that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about say
I wouldn't know, but the point is that I mean, as at 5 years ago from Kofi Tonto, this thing had come before him and he investigated it and submitted a report. Where is that report? If it was handed over to the minister, what did the minister do? If it was handed over to the ambassador then, what did the ambassador do? What did the ambassador do? I mean, why are we suddenly pretending said there was no issue? Kofi is not anybody who could just come and throw anything out.
No, but who said that there wasn't any issue?
So we should be able to. I mean, let's get to the bottom of this thing. We shouldn't play politics with everything. We shouldn't play politics with everything. And I mean, we've been here. People in US kept complaining. Say, listen, they were being charged outrageous amounts of money by way of visa, anyway, any passport, and they kept complaining. I mean, there was so many stories.
Larry, baby, where you in now, Kana? Baby, I am a kakra. Say your embassy. Nandi pa.
Mami additional time.
Oh yeah.
Me kwa tam no kwa we put. Me na madon wo kwa mama obi.
Na kasa yo obo ni.
Dey na botre.
Oh yeah, to Marco school.
Larry.
Yes, finish up.
Yes, obi e wo embassy. Oye boni. Oye ma so mo ye nipa 10 kra no mo ho no mo ye boni a. Does it warrant the closure of the embassy? That is all I am trying to ask.
Well, I mean, we can look at the details of all that particular thing because I don't know what the others, what schedules they are on. Okay, send a bear. If you move them from there, what will happen to their schedules? OTS here. Would you be able to get somebody else who is competent enough to come and manage that thing, or it's better?
And by this action, are we saying? Oh, my phone number we accomplices now.
Oh no, I don't think that is what that is what was said in there. But no,
this is why we withdraw all of them because me papa can wana me back can wana me yire can wana. Obi oti abontini nim say champagne yire champagne papa champagne ya no say no yeah.
ECG containers quickly one.
A minute. Do that in a minute.
I think we are not helping ourselves as a people. The containers that have been found, do they have the content? Okay, whatever thing that is supposed to be in them, are they still in there? Are they intact? Because suddenly from nowhere we started seeing videos of
people melting the content.
Exactly. Somewhere we saw posts, somewhere we saw wires, somewhere and so on, and even some foreigners
Indians
were arrested.
Yeah.
So suddenly, notice comes. Say, listen, we found the containers. But how about the content?
Depending on the Kasaira, no one is who know.
Where is the content? Where are the content? What you say? But in the same story that announced, somewhere who know, almost say Dubik Mahama has been invited by the state security agencies to assist investigation, and that he wrote a statement somewhere.
When?
Oh yeah, it's in the story, the Daily Graphic story. That the big mama has been invited to assist, and that he's written a caution statement and so on. So
was it after they found the containers or when they got the invite? I think was when
I won't know. I won't know. But even on one, some of the things he said on TV and so on, and how he became, a laughing stock. We all saw some of those videos and so on, where a journalist was questioning him and he was rabbiting. We saw it. So I think that we need to get to the bottom of the matter. But this taking the newspaper report say, oh, we have found the containers. Is it just the containers? Or they were found with the content intact?
Prof!
Yes, sir. Okay, so quick one. Energy Minister now can say we na yirano ono asan ba out say yehu. Menelari so ya adwene yehu ye na
some still missing.
Oh, I see.
1,000 more.
No. The amount of dogs in China.
No, but there's 1,000 more. Over 1,000 more is they are still looking.
2,637 ECG containers retrieved. Were they retrieved with their contents intact? I think the Herald Ochanopa headline.
If you make an inference,
yeah,
then possibly it will be retrieved with the content. Because if you tell me, say, car biayira, the retrieval car, let's say,
it was retrieved intact. Okay.
No, it doesn't apply.
Now,
it doesn't apply.
I mean, you are doing the propaganda, so quite a biayira will more and government.
Me mama time one
number watchna ya bepe headlines na ya Energy Minister Mboye with this very, very simple answer.
They should stop shifting the goalposts on this container matters. The containers were never lost to begin with.
Very, very well. Ni na no ye be hum. Me ye me position ne say container nya de betimi ayira simple sir. And that's the entire port where the containers first docked. Security zone. Emma ye cars hold up your Ghana for it will be any how difficult it will be for anybody to take a common mattress and a cooker and a neman getting container out of the pot, not to talk of the whole container. And you know
you know, I think there was one where demurrage.
Yeah, demurrage. Yeah.
And they were. The story said they were sold in. They were sold out.
Okay, so now demurrage by.
We are waiting for the total report.
It's incomplete. This is incomplete.
And then I made a honor battery hot. No matter a foreign ministry ne Ghana embassy or US no one some. Nanaya made me say na mihuno. Processes are cost or embassy hono. Not a delay unnecessarily. Ghana ha and as a job creation entrepreneurship so person create job power I sit and assess the ineptitude or inefficiencies in the system a opportunity for job to be incubated and as a created and whoever that gentleman is I'm sure observed say
bureaucracy
yes ye mantem na emumu no so set paragraph and be one chain no then they are waiting to speed up the process. I'm sure he was getting results, that's why people were paying to him. Even when in instances so to me charge it twice or thrice.
Sabotage the system too.
No, I don't know. We system here. A mark can be that ho. So on create sa para.
Everybody was benefiting from his.
After he had created.
No account.
After
we are collaborating.
Maybe after he had created. The host should protect me. After he had created. After creating you know afa hono koye ade afa no ka se nkrofo bebre kra ebe hu se we hono ye ne ye be ma kwa mo aye anu apeka kra every month including the okasa nkode be ma kofitonto. I mean we are all referring to their words. Let's check the inefficiencies in government operations and government processes. Ebe no be ma no obi be fa ho akwa ko bu omo passport ni until recently at digitization nema be mu nema fast anka why ya tifie kura passport office here in America anka how long was it taking for us to get adi still kura wo hu enti ne mesre these inefficiencies na SS how they we on a day like this say it me reflect embassies na US on kwa na bi wo baby bia ka bia mo starting reflecting how are you speeding up the processes of your operations over there.
I'm sure the inefficiency in the embassies are very, very.
Yeah. Me say, Nana, the point I can't say be actual. You see, we Korea brebi a chama check akra.
Account.
Me point be to make a no agenda. Nana. Me second point in say wo hu. You say embassy na your mind. Your mind baby see no. very sovereign. Asem sikra no bi dwane be hye okra nipa no anka ye do okra na se obie ba ontimi nwura mu bio. Ye nto mahemu. That is wrong.
And I said the president
no, sir, president na make kan say wo say bibi nya wo system mu a ye substitute. Can you imagine say nka Chelsea ni Rebel say boy na say bia 1 or 2 or let's say 5 or assuming all 10 players cry who say omu bo non fa. Could the coach or whoever the owner of Chelsea is say ma shut it down, you substitute, you substitute nipa 10 cry, you replace them one by one. Ebia person 1, 2, 3 and 4 revert home for further investigations. Your positions have been replaced by
the
crack say ebi nsibio for whatever the situation is emeye nto maimu na rather no advice nso ne say inefficiencies na ekoso ho no eno na yield and as a man crofo fa ho eds anema no ye fa na yesi nya futo na foreign minister Mini Okujato Abraka begin to check
on resign
there be me the been sorry na ye check all other embassies and make sure say processes ekoso ho no ye efficient enough to not to warrant obiso mefancha enim gwase ma ye Ghana embassy activities just okwabrane na beja ye won chen when there is a whole embassy with staff sika ye de to omobosome ni ade nyina echi no just okwabrane akobi in the shop one chance and processes you are mandated to do etimi aye. That should be a shame.
Mate, surely wrapping up will not be a shame. Jose. But me who the mobile back and my doom in our mic, the Muka will be obiante. My doom mic, Messi the Muka be obiante. And the men kwana me o mic, I say make us obiante. Larry Dogbe Mapon, Pachoko Fina control the Herald newspaper. Professor Smasa on Pachoko Kumasi Technical University Kokochira de. Honorable Sampine, Koyoku, Nekoko Yuntumi Kofi. Koyoko nekoko yuntumi kofi ebia na de okwa obetumi ayuntumi na where you kofi abuza for. That's just by the way ehana na otwe su yedemo esi efrem na na ya okeso wetumi from the cardinal metremo Emma Ghana's morning voice chairman general Kwame Sefaka on behalf of the team Dr. Father Dexon Kennedy Asante say Sofoko Asante Stephen Bafo Peter Square Isaac Opoko Pretty Joyce Dominic Nyanyovo Nana Pepra afei mami bia makwafo na ya konedu na poso hima adwa ye bo agye odi ahenkan Kwame ye bo a oyene wa kese bo ahen na afei ohene nana Kwame amo Kofi Kumbesen the royal baby ene motona akopem se premo ebeto me de radio asomdwe eja obia makramu nyina
o jedi ampon